Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're diving into something really fascinating. We're looking at a highly repetitive, almost hypnotic piece of audio packed with I am affirmations. You know the kind, designed to program your brain for wealth, health, and prosperity. Now, if you just listen to the raw audio, it kind of sounds like a simple loop of positive thinking. But there is a very specific reason it's built that way. In psychology, repetitive affirmation is a powerful tool. It rewires neural pathways and literally bypasses our natural skepticism. Over the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to deconstruct the exact language used in this text. We'll pull out the core themes and build a real actionable blueprint to see exactly how this material tries to completely reshape the human mindset. Let's get into it. All right, we're kicking things off with one of the most striking lines from the source. I am creating momentum that money can't ignore. I mean, just think about the mechanics behind that phrasing for a second. Instead of just giving us a passive loop of wishful thinking, the text is setting up a rigorous psychological framework. The whole concept of momentum here, it's not about crossing your fingers for a sudden windfall or a lucky break. No, it's grounded in compounding effort. It's suggesting that wealth is actually built in small, totally unnoticeable increments, daily disciplines, quiet decisions, that eventually snowball into this undeniable force of action. It's basically about generating so much value that financial success literally just becomes an inevitable byproduct of your sheer momentum. Now, before we actually break down the mechanics of how this text builds that momentum, I want you to ask yourself something. Is your mindset truly aligned with prosperity? The source material repeats this idea of alignment constantly. It uses phrases like, I am aligned with abundance that lasts, or I am aligned with my richest timeline. And I love that concept of a richest timeline. It implies that we all have multiple potential paths in life, right? Ranging from, settling for the bare minimum all the way up to living out our absolute ultimate potential. This explainer is designed to bridge the gap between those big aspirational concepts in the text and your actual personal financial reality. So keep that question in the back of your mind as we uncover this blueprint. Okay, moving into phase 1, rewriting your financial story. So what becomes immediately obvious in this first phase of the source text is this massive emphasis on internal identity, well before any actual external financial results are even mentioned. I am upgrading my identity to match my future. It's making a really compelling argument here. You have to upgrade who you are on the inside before your bank account can permanently change on the outside. And why is that absolutely crucial? Well, because trying to build wealth while you're secretly holding on to a mindset rooted in scarcity or poverty, it just creates immense psychological friction. The source demands a permanent internal narrative shift. It's literally asking you to step into the shoes of your successful future self right here, right now. Look at this fascinating juxtaposition the source gives us. On one side, we have the wealth chaser, and on the other, the wealth builder. This is a huge psychological pivot. Think about it. A chaser implies desperation, right? It's this exhausting, anxiety-driven state of running after something that is constantly trying to get away from you. But a builder, that implies intentionality. It implies structure and methodical patience. Building takes time, it takes tools, and a blueprint. This shift takes the power dynamic and hands it entirely back to you, removing that desperate energy and replacing it with the calm, steady confidence of someone who is just laying bricks, one by one. And the source introduces another really intriguing idea here, becoming the kind of person money trusts. It actually personifies wealth. It suggests that money naturally flows toward people who are responsible, prepared, and capable of managing it. The text also draws this deep connection between mental freedom and what it calls quiet stability, which I love. True wealth in this framework doesn't need to shout. It's not about chaotic, flashy spending for show. It's about a deeply rooted sense of financial security and worthiness. The argument is that you have to be financially free in my mindset right now, fully adopting that quiet stability way before the actual dollars materialize in your account. All right, that brings us to phase 2, daily habits of wealth. Now, once you've got that internal identity locked in, the source material pivots aggressively. It jumps from internal thoughts straight into actionable daily discipline. It makes it crystal clear that having a wealthy mindset is pretty much useless without real-world execution. The text just lays it out plain and simple. I am consistent, and consistency makes me rich. True, lasting wealth is repeatedly linked to the totally unglamorous act of just showing up every single day, especially when everybody else quits. It strips away all that cinematic Hollywood glamour we usually associate with getting rich and replaces it with the unsexy but totally undeniable power of a relentless routine.
If we map out the action-oriented affirmations from the text, it reveals this really logical three-step progression. Step 1 starts with upgrading your standards, because naturally, raising your personal standard forces a change in your behavior. That leads directly into Step 2, consistent execution, where you just do the work, regardless of your mood or motivation that day. And finally, Step 3, that consistent execution culminates in turning ambition into income. The source totally recognizes that ambition on its own, it's just potential energy. The real challenge is systematically converting that raw energy into a tangible, scalable asset through daily, disciplined habits.
So, how exactly does that ambition become income? Well, the source gives a very clear, pragmatic answer. I am a problem solver, and problem solvers get paid. This is a massive bridge in the philosophy. It shifts you from just doing hard work to make yourself exhausted to actually generating scalable income by removing friction for other people. The marketplace honestly doesn't just reward you for working hard. It rewards the specific behavior of solving complex problems. It's simple math. The bigger the problem you solve, the more the market compensates you for it. The text makes this bold claim, I am producing results that make me wealthy. And I want you to take a second and actually reflect on that. Are you just busy, caught up in the daily grind, or are you actually producing high-value results? It is so easy to confuse movement with progress, isn't it? The source is challenging us to be totally honest about the output of our daily habits. Whether you're in a 9-to-5 job or running your own business, if your daily actions aren't producing results that actually scale, then your mindset and your habits are just out of alignment. Let's look at phase 3, becoming a wealth magnet. If you manage to master your internal identity and lock in those daily habits, the source material says you level up to a whole new stage. This is where disciplined, high-value action naturally starts to attract external opportunities. I am attracting money through the value I provide. The text makes the case that by becoming incredibly valuable every single day, you actually create this sort of gravitational pull. You transition from actively forcing success, which, remember, goes right back to the exhausted wealth chaser we talked about, to literally pulling things towards you. Your sheer competence, your reliability, and your output just start drawing opportunities right to your front door. And get this, the source completely rejects the idea of chance when it comes to this gravitational pull. It explicitly puts luck on one side and building wealth with intention on the other. The transcript actually says, I am not lucky, I am prepared, and I'm building wealth with intention, not luck. It's really driving home the point that being a magnet isn't some mystical, magical thing. It's actually the mathematical, highly predictable result of being thoroughly prepared and incredibly intentional with how you spend your time and deploy your skills. When you operate with that kind of intense intention, the source outlines some really specific outcomes you can expect. You start attracting opportunities that actually match your drive. You find yourself getting invited into high-value networks and rooms. You basically become a magnet for profitable ideas, which opens you up to income coming in from multiple directions. And notice this specific phrase here, clean, unexpected ways. That is a vital distinction in this text. It's actively warning you against wealth built on shady practices, extreme stress, or exploitation. The prosperity it's describing is earned, it's clean, and it's expansive, meaning it benefits both the creator and the wider community. Which leads perfectly into phase 4, sustaining long-term prosperity. So this final thematic phase moves way beyond just acquiring money. It's all about how you sustain it. I am building long-term wealth, not quick hype. In this framework, true prosperity is tied exclusively to success that lasts for decades, not some fleeting viral moment that's gone tomorrow. The affirmations here focus heavily on growing wealth with patience and power. It's really pushing back against our modern obsession with getting rich quickly, right? Instead, it emphasizes that real, lasting empires are built quietly, effectively, and are fundamentally designed to endure the test of time. This table builds a really complete picture of holistic wealth. It balances financial power with spiritual grounding and personal well-being by highlighting 3 absolute must-haves. First up is peace. That's the ability to expand your income without shrinking your inner peace. Second is control, building wealth that actively protects and buys back your time rather than just consuming it. And third is legacy, constructing something that lasts well beyond your own lifetime. It's making it crystal clear that making the money is honestly only half the equation. Keeping your sanity, keeping your time, and actually securing your family's future, that is the real endgame. And the source points to this exact idea as the absolute pinnacle of financial success, being wealthy enough to choose peace first. I mean, wow. It positions peace not just as some pleasant little side effect of having money, but as the ultimate metric of it. It's that realization that money is ultimately just a tool to buy back your freedom and protect your health.
If your pursuit of wealth forces you to grind yourself into the ground, well, then it's just become a trap. True success is reaching a state where your resources support a life that you never, ever feel the need to escape from. We kind of bring our whole journey through this source material full circle with this closing concept. I am living in wealth, success, and overflow now. It's fascinating how this final phase aims to completely reprogram your brain by pulling the reality of your future right into your present moment. By declaring that you are living in overflow right now, today, the text is attempting to condition your mind to spot hidden opportunities, to act with unwavering confidence, and to execute your daily tasks with the calm, unstressed focus of someone who already knows they've won the game. Which leaves us with a final provocative question pulled straight from the source's closing lines. Are you ready for the next level of prosperity? We've explored the necessary identity shifts, the completely unsexy power of daily habits, the sheer mathematics of attracting value, and that deep peace required for long-term wealth. The blueprint from the text is incredibly clear. Really, the only thing left is your decision to start building. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and we will see you next time.